If you need everyone to like you, you're trapped, and your need to be liked is a prison. My name is Mitch. It's my mission to give the modern man the tools to succeed, to master their mind, their body, their life, to live a life of freedom and truth. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why your desire to be liked, your desire for approval, your desire for praise is a prison that you've built for yourself, and how to free yourself so that you can be free and you can live a life true to yourself. Okay. So many men today are trapped in the algorithm of approval, right? Just think about it like in a competitive spirit, like two guys trying to prove that they're better than the other guy, right? Like that competitive spirit is kind of a manifestation of wanting the approval, the acknowledgement, the praise from others, right? But if this is your main goal, you're going to not really live a life of contentment. That leads to a black hole of uncontrollable unhappiness, really. I mean, it seems like pretty gloomy, but really, it genuinely is not going to lead you down a life that you want to live. They don't build their own life, they build a persona. Okay. Think about it, right? If you have your family over here, your friends over here, and you're in your mind's eye, you're thinking, how can I get these people to like me? You put on a mask, right? Depending on who you're talking to, and they see the mask. That's not true connection. If you were to ask yourself, how can I be my true self and understand my own value, my own purpose, the things that I want to do, how I want to manifest in the world, how I want to live, and not care about the approval and the opinions of others, that ultimately leads to happiness. But I'm going to explain kind of the balance and how it actually works. So, again, people who do this don't build their own life. They build a persona to try to please their family, their friends, their audience. That's why they're empty. Where is the true connection? It's not there. Okay. We've evolved to seek group belonging. What that means is we exist in community, right? Part of what makes us happy, what makes us content is personal connection. But in today's world, that instinct becomes a cage rather than thinking like, how can I add value to this person's life? How can I help this person? How can I help these people? How can I manifest myself in the world where I'm a contributing force? We almost get like this desire for instant gratification of how can I be liked? How can I make myself more appealing to people? But it's kind of a false, it's not a real thing. It's like it's surface level, right? It's not deep. It doesn't have depth. So you're going to live a lie, really, right? Again, it's back to that idea of the mask. Here's the truth. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. That is their task. This comes from Adlerian psychology. Alfred Adler, he lived from 1870 to 1930s. He was kind of in Freud's circle, and then he broke off to talk about Adlerian psychology. He was a psychologist, he was a medical doctor. Kind of a mixture of all things, but he talked about this idea of separation of tasks, right? Again, you're not responsible for other people's emotions. That's their task. Your task is to act according to your values. This is almost a stoic idea of like what's inside our control, what's not inside our control. And the identification and awareness of the separation between these two will lead to liberation, will lead to freedom. Okay. Confidence comes from competence. So if you want to develop a true sense of confidence, you can fake it till you make it, right? You can put on a mask like we talked about so that people go, oh, this guy, maybe he has it figured out. But that's not going to lead to true happiness, true contentment. True contentment and true confidence, real confidence comes from being good at something and understanding your value and looking inward, right? So how can you build that? Well, I guess competence is built through experience, through developed awareness, through knowledge, through action, and in the right direction. The more you stack skills, the less you need approval, right? Most people chase approval because they haven't built anything real. They feel like they have to build something fake because they're not able to be authentic, because their real self, they're afraid that other people will reject them. And then it makes them build all these walls of protection, which are really just deception. That's pretty deep, but okay. Stop asking like, do they like me, right? That should not be your goal. Here's an easy way to think about it, right? If your goal is to be liked, that will equal suffering ultimately. But if your goal is how can I add value? How can I contribute? How can I be myself? That will equal like happiness in a sense, right? It's not easy. It's difficult. It takes courage, but you will live if you live a life more true to yourself and contribute without worrying about what other people think. That's going to lead to a happier life. So start asking, did I add value today? Right. So here's a way to kind of understand purpose, mission is what do I love? What am I good at? Which Cal Newport wrote a book and um, like how to be so good they can't ignore you or something. And his philosophy, right, is if you get good enough at something, you'll start to like it. So these kind of two blend together. It's not like and they're connected. Everything's connected, right? But you want to find something that you love, something that you're good at, which these two can kind of overlap, and then what the world needs. And if you can combine all these forces, that's kind of like your mission. That's your calling. That's your purpose. That's how you add value to the world. That's how you contribute. That's how you be a leader. That's how you have fulfillment, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, that's the way it works, right? So did I add value today? Okay. And separate, like, it takes practice. Okay. You want to look internally and ask yourself, who do I want to be? Right? What do I want to do? How do I want to add value? What's my purpose? What's my mission? And if you start incorporating, maybe bettering yourself, like think about it from just a simple, practical, like self-improvement strategy. Maybe you stop drinking alcohol. Maybe you start going to the gym. Maybe you, whatever it is, whatever level this is, you start doing all these things, right? And then you have other people saying like, hey man, you think you're better than us, or like, hey man, that's not going to work, or maybe like offering you advice like, hey, you really should do this. If I were starting a business, then I would do this, and offer you advice. And these opinions, these things, they're dangerous. So you want to make sure that you're looking inwards. Anyway, the man who needs to be liked will never be free. The man who speaks truth, who builds value, who lets others think what they will, that man is free. Be that man. So there you go. That's a video. Pretty simple. I just want you to start questioning where you find your worth, where you find your value, because I don't want you to be a slave to your desire to be liked by others, right? Um, yeah, so I'm going to keep making valuable content like this. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you in the next video.